In the previous video, we learned that the price a customer pays for a product consists of variable cost per product and a contribution margin the business adds on top. We also learned that the business uses the contribution margin to cover its fixed operating costs, like rent, utilities, and salaries, and possibly make a profit. Break-even analysis helps us answer the following question. At what point will the business have all of its costs, variable and fixed, covered so it can begin making a profit? In other words, the break-even point is the point at which total revenue equals total costs. There are no profits yet, but also no more losses. The business is breaking even. You're selling just enough at just the right price to exactly cover all costs involved in running the business. We can rearrange this equation by moving total cost to the left. This way we express the idea that at the break-even point, the business makes zero profit, but also no losses. The revenue covers all of the costs, leaving no money left over. Remember that profit is the difference between revenue and cost. In this case, the difference is zero. If the business were profitable, the difference would be positive. If the business were losing money, the difference would be negative. Let's go back to our original break-even point equation, where total revenue equals total cost. First of all, how do we calculate total revenue? We make revenue every time we sell a product. The revenue per item is the item's price. We need to multiply price per item by the quantity of items sold to get total revenue. Total costs. We take into account two types of costs: fixed costs, like rent, utilities, and salaries, and variable costs, like materials, shipping, and commissions. Fixed costs are already expressed as a total for a certain time period, for example, $5,000 in rent per month. But variable costs are usually expressed per item, for example, $2 of packaging cost per item. For break-even analysis, we need total variable cost, which we would calculate by multiplying the item by the number of items sold. A detailed equation for the break-even point. Price times quantity equals fixed cost plus variable cost times quantity. One of the most important questions in break-even analysis is, how much product do I need to sell in order to break even? Entrepreneurs and small business owners who may have invested their own money into starting their business would be very eager to answer this question. After all, this analysis would tell them how many units must be sold before all of the costs of running their business are covered and the business is no longer losing money. To answer this question, we need to solve our break-even equation for Q, or quantity. We will need to rearrange the equation to isolate Q on the left side. First of all, we will move our total variable cost over to the left side as a subtraction. Then we will retain the like item, Q. And finally, we will divide both sides by P minus VC to isolate Q, or quantity, on the left side of the equation. Now we have an equation for break-even quantity. Quantity equals fixed cost divided by price minus variable cost. Look at an example. Elena runs a bakery. She sells each loaf of bread for $3, and each loaf costs her $1 to make. In addition, she pays a monthly rent of $2,000 for her small storefront shop. There are no other expenses involved in running this business. How many loaves of bread does Elena need to sell each month in order to break even? We start with the break-even quantity equation, plug in the fixed cost, variable cost, and price information that was provided, and arrive at 1,000 units. This means that in any month, Elena must sell 1,000 loaves of bread in order to break even. If she sells fewer than 1,000 loaves, she will lose money that month because she won't have enough revenue to cover her costs. If she sells more than 1,000 units, she will make a profit that month. A business owner like Elena would greatly benefit from this information. Now she can set a sales goal of at least 1,000 loaves of bread per month or higher, and put together a marketing strategy to achieve that.